In March of 2024, an 82-year-old retiree in Connecticut received a message on his computer. It appeared to be from Elon Musk. The voice was perfect, every inflection, every subtle accent that Musk is known for. The pitch was simple: invest in a new Grok AI venture, and you'll see returns of 30% within 6 months. The interface looked professionally built. The account statements they presented looked real. The confirmation emails came from what appeared to be legitimate Tesla domains. They drained his retirement account, $690,000. He transferred it all. 3 months later, he tried to withdraw his supposed profits. The website was gone, the emails bounced back. The customer service number he'd been calling went dead. Everything, the voice, the website, the documentation, had been generated by an artificial intelligence. None of it was real, and he's not alone. According to the Federal Trade Commission, Americans lost more than $12.5 billion to fraud in 2024. That's a 25% increase from the previous year. The common thread: nearly all of these scams now use some form of AI to appear more convincing, more legitimate, and harder to detect.
Suggesting it came out of nowhere. What we subsequently learned is it may have come from the former president. This is a deepfake example of what is possible with powerful computer and editing.
But the scams targeting individuals are just the surface. Beneath them sits something far larger and far more precarious: a financial bubble built on promises that artificial intelligence cannot yet keep.
Well, I think it represents the most important infrastructure of the 21st century. This is a part of Microsoft's Columbia data center campuses. These house the computers that fuel our lives.
The first thing you need to understand is that AI-powered fraud isn't some futuristic threat. It's already here, and it's operating at scale. The FBI issued a public warning in December of 2024, specifically calling out the rise of deepfake technology in financial crimes.
To deceive their victims, fraudsters are using technology, things like the internet and AI, to make their ploys more convincing.
What used to require a team of skilled forgers and weeks of preparation can now be done by a single person with a laptop in an afternoon. Take the case of Arup, a British engineering firm. In February of 2024, their finance team received a video call request from what appeared to be their chief financial officer. The CFO asked them to authorize a transfer of $25 million for a supposed acquisition. Multiple people were on the call. They authorized the payment. It was a deepfake. The real CFO had no idea the call had even happened. By the time the company realized what had occurred, the money had been moved through several international accounts and was effectively untraceable. Arup disclosed the loss in their annual report, and the story made headlines for a week before fading from public consciousness. But the technology that enabled got cheaper, faster, and more accessible. Voice cloning is now a particularly effective tool as well. You've probably seen the warnings about posting videos of yourself speaking online, but the truth is, it doesn't take much. A few seconds of audio is enough for modern AI tools to generate a convincing replica of your voice.
Here's my plan to restore law and order in our cities and throughout our country, frankly. This demonstration video has been crafted using the lip synthesis web application to illustrate just how effortlessly you can manipulate media.
Scammers have been calling elderly people, pretending to be their grandchildren in distress, asking for emergency funds to be wired immediately. The voices sound so accurate that even family members can't tell the difference until it's too late. The scale is staggering. According to data from multiple cybersecurity firms, malicious actors stole approximately $9.9 billion from the cryptocurrency ecosystem alone in 2024 using AI-enhanced tactics. These weren't sophisticated hacking operations. Most of them were simple phishing schemes, fake investment platforms, fraudulent trading bots, and manipulated market data, all made more convincing because the interfaces were generated by AI to look indistinguishable from legitimate services. The Securities and Exchange Commission filed charges in December against several individuals running an AI-themed crypto scam that defrauded investors of $14 million. And the scheme was straightforward. They claimed to have developed an AI that could predict cryptocurrency price movements. They showed fake trading results. They hired actors to pose as satisfied investors. They used AI-generated testimonials that looked and sounded like real people. The only thing real about the operation was the money they stole. And this is where the story gets even more complicated, because the line between outright fraud and legitimate business starts to blur when you look at how AI companies themselves are being valued and funded. In October of 2024, OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, was valued at $157 billion. By January of 2025, that valuation had risen to $500 billion. That's an increase of $343 billion in the span of 3 months. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire GDP of countries like Finland or New Zealand. In 3 months, for a company that has never turned a profit. So what changed exactly? Did they solve artificial general intelligence? Did they demonstrate a clear path to profitability? No, they raised money. Specifically, they raised money from Microsoft, which already owned 49% of the company. Microsoft invested billions into OpenAI, and OpenAI immediately used that money to purchase cloud computing services from Microsoft Azure. Microsoft then reported record revenue growth in their cloud division, which Wall Street interpreted as evidence of surging demand for AI infrastructure. Stock prices went up. Investors cheered. The cycle continued. This is what's known as circular financing. It creates the appearance of economic activity without generating real value. The money moves in a loop. Investment becomes revenue, becomes valuation, becomes more investment. As long as confidence remains high, the system works. But the moment someone questions whether the underlying business is sustainable, the whole structure becomes a house of cards, fragile. And there are reasons to question it. A study conducted by researchers at MIT found that 95% of AI pilot projects implemented by companies showed no measurable return on investment. These weren't failed experiments by small startups. These were projects launched by Fortune 500 companies with significant resources and expertise. They spent money developing AI tools, integrating them into their workflows, training employees to use them, and then quietly shelving them when the results didn't materialize. Gartner, one of the most respected research firms in the technology industry, reported that 40% of agentic AI projects, systems designed to operate autonomously, are canceled before they even launch. Not because of technical failures, but because companies realize during development that the promised benefits won't justify the costs. McKinsey published similar findings. According to their research, only 10% of companies have successfully implemented generative AI at scale for any use case. That means 90% either failed or are still in the experimental phase, burning money without clear results. Despite this, global investment in AI infrastructure is projected to reach $1.4 trillion by 2027. Data centers are being built, chips are being manufactured, energy grids are being expanded. All of this is happening based on the assumption that AI will eventually deliver the productivity gains and cost savings that justify the expense. But the data suggests otherwise. A study from Stanford University found that software engineers using AI coding assistants were 19% slower than those working without them. The AI-generated code required more debugging, introduced more errors, and often misunderstood the requirements of the task. Instead of accelerating development, it created additional work. This pattern repeats across industries. Companies are investing heavily in AI because they fear being left behind, not because the technology has proven itself. It's a preemptive arms race driven by anxiety rather than evidence. And the warnings are coming from inside the house. David Solomon, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, told investors in late 2024 that he expects a lot of capital that was deployed in AI to not deliver returns. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, described the current environment as kind of an industrial bubble. Even Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, the company most responsible